Hello and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette. I'm an intuitive tarot reader with over 30 years experience, and I am here today to do a reading for the collective for this new moon in Sagittarius that has just taken place, with the solar eclipse happening at the same time. Very powerful energy. I have just done the astrology for this as well, which will be up on my channel if you're interested in having a look at that video as well. It will be there for anybody who wants to find out more about what is happening at this time in the sky and how it is affecting all of us. And if you are interested in finding out more about that, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to go and look and see where your own placements are as well. If you don't already know, you may know where your sun sign is, your moon sign. You may not know the exact degrees, so you may want to check them out. And then you can also have a bigger understanding of what is taking place within the sky and how it's affecting you on a very personal and individual level as well. So with all that being said, I am going to jump into my reading and start with one of these cards, as I do now. I start all my full and my new moon readings from the Celestial Meditation deck, I believe it's called. And today the card that we have is the Wheel. In tarot it would probably be known as the Wheel of Fortune, the Dharma Wheel. And it says, the Wheel of Supreme Bliss is an icon of an enlightened mind. Desire and wrath are transformed into rapturous compassion. At the centre, the Sacred Father and Mother manifest as your mind, body and spirit. The very centre there, which is interesting because the sun and the mother, the sun and the moon, sorry, is also how I would see the divine energy of the masculine and the feminine, the mother and the father energy, thus making this material world a reality. Male and female wisdom and compassion, emptiness and skillful means aspire to live within the creative life force beyond hopes, desires, preferences and fears, which are all very Sagittarian type of qualities as well. There is no separation between self and other. Turn timid responses into a radical engagement with life. Look inside you. You are the cosmos of bliss, manifesting in the harmony of the universe. And the card itself is Sacred Union. So, interesting card to start with. The sun and the moon having just gone through a solar eclipse, masculine feminine energy together. In Sagittarius, all about truth, justice, fearlessness in a way, fire sign, also to do with freedom, hope, optimism, joy. So interesting. Okay, let's start the reading itself with this card here today, the Knight of Pentacles. In reverse, which I think is very appropriate because I think this is where we're at this time collectively. I think we are exhausted. I think we've kind of reached a point where everything is just so hard, just really, really hard work. When it's reversed, this card is saying it's kind of, it feels to me very Saturn in Capricorn energy. here, being Pentacles, it is earth energy. And it feels very Saturn in Capricorn, and Saturn in Capricorn is in the very final degrees of Capricorn, very final degrees of his home sign, and this is how it feels. It's like trying to get through wet concrete, as I said in my astrology. It's tough, it's really hard going, to the point where you just think, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this. It's defeat. It just feels like defeat. It just feels like, I'm going to give up. I just can't do this. And I think kind of collectively that's where we're at this time. It's like, oh, no more, no more, can't take any more, can't do any more of this. The Knight is the slowest moving out of all the Knights. The Knight of Pentacles, should I say, is the slowest moving Knight out of all of them anyway. Very kind of precise, determined energy. Takes longer to make his mind up, but once he has made his mind up, then that's it. He'll see it through. It's like, nope, nope, stubborn, I'm going to stick with this. I'm not going to change my mind. So in some ways it can be beneficial, because sticking with something for the long term can be can have its own rewards, but also sometimes sticking with something because we don't know what else to do, or we're confused, or we're just stuck in that energy because we're so determined to that's what we're going to do, made our mind up about it, so therefore like hell and high water is not going to change it. But interestingly as well, I'm seeing this shield here kind of being held up, and there's like this protective light coming off of this today as well, which is kind of coming through for me a bit like this solar eclipse, in fact, which is a changing point. This energy today is a changing point. So it could be that we've come to the end of this energy, we've reached the end of this road, the end of this slow, long progress that's taken us a long, long time. I always see this energy as being like the tortoise in the race with the hare, and that the tortoise did eventually win, but it wasn't it was really by luck more than actual kind of the fact that the tortoise was faster than the hare, shall we say, because the tortoise is not faster than the hare, but he still got there. And that's kind of what's coming through for me. There is a sense of getting there, but it is covered today by the energy of the Eight of Cups, and in this particular deck it's called Indolence, which I think is kind of like laziness. And if you look here, there's 4 cups up the top, or 3 cups up the top, sorry, that are not filled, and they're connected to this cup here, whereas the other 4 seem to be kind of doing something. They're kind of filling up the other cups. The flowers in the centre are filling up the other cups, but there's a sense of kind of, it's going with this, is kind of this same sense, this same kind of energy of like, I can't do this anymore. Something's got to change. Could also be a sense of like two separate energies, in the sense of, how can I put it? What am I getting here? Like those that have nothing and those that have plenty, kind of feeding those that have plenty. So it's kind of this energy of those that already have will continue to have, and those that don't have will continue not to have. There's a sense of that as well, a sense of that's what's kind of happened, shall we say, over this year. With this Eight of Cups. It can also be about walking away from something, looking for something better to fulfill, to be satisfied by, because this is not satisfying at all, this energy. It could feel as though we're being forced into situations we don't necessarily want to be in. Having to leave things behind that we don't want to leave behind. But it's coming through more as a sense of like divide, of division. Is how I'm seeing it. As this dividing energy, like I was saying, those that have and those that haven't. So in our heads, and what we're aware of though, is the Ace of Cups here. And this came through interestingly in a different way as well today for me. I'm seeing it as this energy here, which has just taken place today, that like seeing this as the universal energy, as like the galactic center energy pouring out, like new, something else is coming in to fill up this cup. This overflow of energy. This overflow of, it just feels like an overflow of abundance. Of like divine, like this divine energy, this divine love, this new, because it's an ace, it's a new energy, it's an energy that we haven't felt before. An energy that we're kind of waking up to. There's also something very creative about it. There's a creativity within it, with all this kind of, it's almost mirroring, but it's not mirroring as such. So it kind of feels as though it's coming down from this higher energy point, and then when it hits this cup, it kind of is splashing out and creating all of this like this new pattern, like this new, just, yeah, new pattern, new, it's coming through like energetic, new energetic pattern, new, yeah, And I'm feeling it's like going right down to the DNA here, right down to the molecular level, the cellular level of something here, of ourselves. And it's interesting because it keeps coming through like a mirror image, but it isn't a mirror image. It's almost like, you know, this is the reflection of this, but it's not perfect because it gets distorted here. At this point of entry, and also where it kind of breaks out. Seeing it as like a bit like fractals, if you know anything about fractals, it's kind of that energy, but like we are the fractals, we are all of these different points of light that it's kind of breaking into. And we are all of these different points of light are love, are that divine energy of conscious awareness and love. I'm just seeing them here as well, which I think is a rose or a flower of some type, but that's how it's coming through. Like a distorted energy, or it gets distorted, this divine energy that gets distorted when it gets to a certain point of creation or a certain point of entry, birth. See, this feels very creative, a creative energy. And the energy that's moving away is this card of disappointment, the 5 of Cups, which is all about sorrow and sadness and a sense of a sense of disappointment, of things not turning out the way that we wanted them to turn out, of things not being how we would like them to be, a sense of confusion I'm feeling as well, in a way, a sense of yeah, it's very similar to this energy here, this kind of 8 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. Both that kind of disappointing energy, both that kind of not fulfilling, not satisfied, not giving us what we need, which ultimately is this energy here. But this is kind of the distortion, I feel, of this energy. This is how it comes out. This is how it ends up. What once was very kind of divine and very pure ends up like this. And of course the Cups is also emotions, relates to our emotions, so it could also relate to the fact that that's why it ends up like this, is because of our emotional energies, our emotional, energetic understanding of something, of our kind of feels like missing something, of not being connected to this point anymore. Although we are, but it feels as though it's kind of cut somehow, like it's cut off, we're cut away from it. It's not able to flow in the same way that it wants to flow, due to our kind of distortion and confusion. And that's how I'm seeing all these kind of pipes down here. entanglements, making things more complicated than they need to be. So underneath it we have the Queen of Swords, and today she's coming through with this kind of lazy attitude, in fact, for me today. Almost like, you know, she's just flinging her sword over here. This kind of sense of, oh God, I've tried, but it's just not worth it. I'm just not getting anywhere. I'm just not. I'm just not connecting, is how it feels. I'm just, because there's a sense of very perceptive energy here with the Queen of Swords. Very perceptive, very kind of all-seeing, all-knowing. Like she's up there in these clouds. She kind of has this kind of goddess energy about her for me. But almost like a sense of this is in the subconscious, so this is also what we are feeling on a deeper subconscious level, where we're coming from as well. This sense of it's that kind of sense of, what is the point of keep trying to make people understand something or show them something or give them this higher awareness if they're not going to appreciate it or use it, value it, want it. And she's got this face, this kind of, I think it could be a mask, or it could be kind of something that the whole card, the whole energy for me today is just looking like she just can't be bothered. Like it's just all too much. Like, I've tried logically, I've tried looking at it in all different ways. It's not making any sense to me. I can't understand it. I can't relate to it. There's just this general air of just giving up. But interestingly, we also have the 6 here. Is the energy that's coming in, the 6 of Pentacles. Success, balance, an energy of achievement, of give and take in a way, having plenty, but I'm also seeing it as being this energy behind her head here as well. The same kind of very sharp, pointed, very precise energy of again, there's that rose in the centre as well, that rose which I kind of see here. It's very similar energy here as well. Things, it kind of feels a bit like things coming together. Things becoming successful, things like after all this hardship, all this difficulty, all this, it's like reaching a point of success, understanding, Realization of something. Well, it's kind of how it's coming through, is this kind of realization, because it's also got all these planets are actually, it's very small, I don't know if you can see them, but there are planets on each of those circles. So it's kind of coming through for me as like a kind of astrologically connected energy, in the sense of success after all of this that we've been through. It's kind of almost like a reward energy. The reward, it could even be this upcoming Saturn and Jupiter conjunction energy, in fact, that's kind of coming together to create, because it's going to create this amazing bright star in the sky as well. So that could have something to do with this here. It feels like a kind of awakening to something. Yeah, an awakening, a perception, a perceiving. It's that same kind of energy here, almost like here she's kind of laid back and can't be bothered, and she's given up, and she's like, what's the point? And now it's kind of, and again, this could also be that energy that I was talking about with the Saturn Capricorn energy that we're in at this time as well, where everything is just kind of hard. Giving up. I also see this as a mask as well. This kind of face that she's holding there, it kind of looks like a, what would be called a sage, I suppose, a kind of traditional long bearded like taking off the mask, taking off the pretense of having to actually, of being real, of showing the actual true side of ourselves. Something becoming clearer. Which is interesting considering all this stuff that's going on with masks at this time as well. Okay, so in our hopes and our fears we have temperance, or art as it's known in this deck, and she is pouring something into this goblet down here. But for me, what's most interesting is the fact that her masculine and feminine energies here are both on the opposite side of each other. So I would say that the blue arm here is the masculine and the face is the feminine, and vice versa here. So it is about this balance, but also about coming to terms with that masculine and feminine energy. And of course, we've just had this solar eclipse, which involves both the sun and the moon, new moon, moon and sun come together, the energies join, they meet up, they create something new. Temperance. It'll also be seen as fire energy here. It's alchemical change. It's about coming to a realization of balance within ourselves. is ultimately what this whole journey is all about. The duality that we see outwardly is also what we have within us as well. We all have masculine, we all have feminine. And it's all about kind of balancing those energies in order to be whole and complete within ourselves, ultimately. The alchemical marriage. It's also fire, creation. Again, it's feeling like that splitting energy as well. As some, you know, as it comes down, it splits, it divides. It's no longer as pure as it was. Patience as well. Patience for ourselves, not just for other people, but also patience in our journey, in who we are, learning who we are as we go, growing, understanding, higher knowledge, wisdom. What we're learning. So that's in our hopes and fears, and our final outcome here is the universe or the world. So this is about closing out a cycle. This is about bringing something to a close in order for something new to come in order for a rebirth, a transformation, a change to occur. And it's also, again, it feels like with this light coming down here, this beam of light that's coming down here, which is, I see this as this same light here. It's like the light of creation. It's what creates the physical realm, if you like, where we are. The reality we live in. But this is closing out a cycle, and it feels like it's that kind of closing out of something very big as we move out of 2020 and into 2021. It's the ending of that cycle that we've been in, but it's bigger because it's also the ending of the last 200 years at least. And I believe that you have to go back to, I think it's 1226 before the last time that Jupiter and Saturn joined together in Aquarius maybe, or the last time they joined together in an air sign. I know that was 200 years ago that they last joined together in an air sign. But the Sun will also just be at 0 degrees when Saturn and Jupiter become conjunct. So the Sun will have just moved into Capricorn at 0 degrees as well. So that is another, and that in itself is also another point, an axis mundi point as well. It's like a world axis that goes from Cancer to Capricorn and Aries and Libra. So it's that cross, the axis mundi, known as the kind of the world's axis. And so the Sun will have just crossed over that point as these planets come together for the first time in 200 years in this sign of an air element. So that in itself is a major, major, major change as well. So this new moon energy is about preparing us in many ways for that, for what is coming, for that shift of energy. And I'm realizing that it has, you know, there has been a success, there is success coming, and that what we've had to go through in many ways has been bringing us to this point, of success, of kind of completion of our balancing point within ourselves as well. But I see it as a kind of reward, if you like, for everything that we have been through. The Page of Cups is over the top of these two energies, so it's more cup energy here. Young energy, learning as it goes energy, learning about its emotions, or we're learning about our emotions. Again, it feels like that new, something new, relearning, regrowing. Venus is in the final stages of Scorpio as well, so just about to move into Sagittarius energy. So the Cups, Venus, love energy, but it relates also to water. Emotions, this will be the signs of Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. It just feels like it at this time. It just feels as though it's like a new. I just keep getting new energy, new energy, new world, new love, new growth, new understanding of it, new ways of looking at it, relating to love, relating to how we've looked at or expected love to be previously compared to how it's going to become. Because there's also innocence in this card as well, the Page of Cups. There's an innocence, there's a kind of still wanting to learn, still willing to learn something new about himself. He's growing, he's learning, he's understanding. So it's kind of, that's where we are with this energy here. Also maybe that love will help heal. Because this can also be an energy of the inner child that is looking for love to heal. But also an understanding that that love may need to come from a higher source rather than necessarily from individuals. We also have the Seven of Cups over there as well. Didn't realise that one had come out. So that is also a card in reverse of, I'm seeing it literally as this cup that he's holding in his hand here. Of it being Like this being the old idea of love, the old ways of how we look at love, of kind of expecting possibly disappointment, expecting to not be fulfilled here, expecting, because this can be seen as a card of confusion, a card of too many choices, not knowing what you're going to receive, which we never do when we start a relationship. We never know what's going to be inside that cup that that person offers us. It's just this sense of things not being how they have been in the past. When it comes to relationships, things obviously aren't as easy now as they always have been in the past as well. Not taking them. And maybe there's just too much going on. Too much going on. Too much for us to take it all in. Too much for us to make decisions or choices or choose or... yeah, too much. Which is bringing in this sense of kind of disappointment as well, this sense of not being satisfied or fulfilled, possibly by the choices we make as well, or have made in the past, because we've got the Page of Cups here, Seven of Cups and the Eight of Cups in between. And a whole load of cups have fallen out, or cards, sorry. We've got the Queen of Cups, we've got the Two of Pentacles, we've got the Nine of Cups, we've got the Two of Swords and the Magician. All in our headspace. That's a lot of stuff going on in our head. So the Queen of Cups is in reverse as well. So she's also not feeling in a place of strength when it comes to emotions. She's feeling as though she's been kind of how can you put it? Deserted, maybe. Queen of Cups, when she's upright, she's very stable in her emotions. She's very compassionate. She's very caring. She's very open to love, understanding. Makes good listeners. Wants to help heal people, make people feel better about themselves. But when she's in reverse, it's kind of very much an energy of kind of withdrawing all of that emotional support in, not being able to emotionally connect with somebody. And maybe that's very much what's happening at this time, especially. We are feeling very much like we can't emotionally connect with people, social distancing, not being allowed to contact, connect with people, hug people. And then we have the Two of Pentacles, which for me is always an energy of staying in the past or moving forward into the future and not knowing which one's best. Trying to possibly take the past into the future, but then kind of ending up having to juggle again because that past energy maybe doesn't want to or shouldn't be in the future. So it's that constant kind of backwards and forwards of that energy. The more you try to take that past energy into the future, the more juggling you just end up doing. The more you try to kind of bring something to a balance, the less balanced it feels. And then the Nine of Cups in reverse is saying that there's this wish fulfillment, this hope, this dream hasn't turned out the way that we thought it would or the way that we wanted it to. Again, I'm seeing it with this this Ace of Cups here that he's carrying as being this cup here that he's holding up, but it's in reverse, and there's all these Eight of Cups here as well, and it's all kind of spilling out because it's in reverse. It's like nothing's staying in those cups. Those cups aren't holding anything. They're all upside down, so they're not going to hold anything. They're not going to hold the dream. They're not going to hold the hopes, the wishes. And we have the Two of Swords in reverse as well. So there's lots of twos here as well. So there is a lot of kind of juggling, decision making. We're kind of in that space of having to decide where it is that we're going, what it is that we're doing. But we feel blindfolded. We feel as though we're having to make these decisions without possibly all the information that we need, without being able to see clearly at this time where it is that we're heading. Decisions that we don't want to make because it's in reverse. And then we have the Magician here, who is saying that it's time to manifest something new, really, is how I feel that he's coming through. It's time to manifest. It's time to bring this cup. Because that's the cup that I feel that he's holding here, with all these other elements, which are all relatively, or all relative, should I say, for manifestation. It's like if you want to manifest something, you need to have that, you need to have the drive and the fire and the passion and enthusiasm for something. You need to, well, sorry, that's the ones here. And also the clarity, the thoughts, the kind of focus of attention. Know what it is that you want, focus your mind, the emotions, the desire, the passion, and the Pentacles is bringing it into the physical world, making it a reality. And it's also, if you see here, there's also the symbol of like an atom. So it's kind of relating to the fact that everything starts off as, in the physical domain, it's all very kind of, you know, it's atomic, it's all very molecular, it's right down to that kind of, you know, basic energy. And it's knowing how to create that. See the vision, see what it is that we're wanting, see how we want the future, and then create it in a new way with the connection, which I think, again, you can see that here as well, seeing that behind his head, this creation, this creative energy that we've kind of cut ourselves off from. We've kind of, which is where this distortion has come in, and this kind of heaviness, and this kind of living in this very kind of fixed idea of how the world is and how it's always been and how it always will be the same way. Which isn't true. Because nothing's ever the same forever. Everything shifts and everything changes. And that's what this magician for me is saying, that we have the ability here to bring this into our reality. This new world is opening up. And I also think that as we move further into the Aquarian age, this is going to become much more obvious in a way to people, that this is about our manifestation, in the sense of we are attracting to us whatever it is that we are focusing our attention on. But we're doing it with the divine, because it's the divine energy that is kind of the root energy of all of this. It's the very center, it's the very, it is everything. And that energy is within everything. Always has been. And always will be. Just in different forms and in different and plays out in different ways down our history, our story. We have the King of Swords over the disappointment. So it feels like, because the King of Swords can be very cold, calculating, indifferent as well. And I'm kind of getting that same energy from this energy here, from this Queen, the King and the Queen of Swords. It's all very logical. It's all been about the intellect rather than the emotions. It's all been, everything's kind of been judged on our intellect as well, if you think about how the intellect has played. And intellect and emotions don't go together when it comes to love. It's head over heart. Literally, there is this heart here as well. It's that head over heart energy. And choosing with the mind just brings disappointment, because your heart's not really in it. Your energy, your passion, your drive, your fire, your soul is not there, because it's all very intellectual. It's all very thought out. Our whole society in many ways is built on intellect. The mind has been made God in many ways, for want of a better word. But the mind can also play tricks on us. The mind can lead us down this path to disappointment, and it has done. This energy here is the air signs of Libra, Gemini and Aquarius. It just feels as though if we keep just kind of going with just our logical intellect, then we will just keep on that path of disappointment and possibly even self-destruction as well. Constantly looking for answers on an intellectual level or an intelligence level has led us to, you know, it just feels as though it's led us to this place of disappointment, of not finding what we seek. And it's also kind of cut us off from this energy. Okay, so we have the Two of Wands that's come out as well. So we've now got three twos that are together here. Again, it's in reverse. So the twos are about kind of channeling an energy. Like this way or that way. Particularly when it comes to the Two of Wands, it's like the path opening up. It's like, which way are we going to go? And because it's in reverse, it can also have confusion about it as well. Kind of a crossroads, coming to that crossroads and not knowing which way. I also feel as well that we are coming to more of a dividing energy within, and I feel that's also what this was saying to me here as well, that there is this division, there is this dividing energy, particularly as the North Node is in Gemini, which is all about duality, which is also this intellectual energy here as well. Very much to do with the left brain, right brain, good, bad, wrong, right. It's all that duality thing, and we really are kind of driven by these kind of dual choices that we have to make. And there is going, I feel as though there is going to be this division. There is this kind of dividing point where the human race is going to become kind of so far disconnected from each other's viewpoints and each other's beliefs and each other's understanding, that we may end up going off on different kind of doing, like, you know, those that want to carry on down this path and those that want to start on a different path or veer off into their own way of doing things. And that's how I can kind of see things happening. I could be wrong, But it feels very much, very strongly at this time that things are not coming together so much as they are widening apart at this crossroads that we're standing at this time. It's over the top of this kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of for her? It kind of just feels like a blasé attitude of like, whatever. That's how it's coming through. And this kind of sense of like, you know, division. Due to not seeing eye to eye, due to being too far removed from each other. Picking a path. And then we have the Hangman over the top of this card of success. The Hangman is kind of saying that a new perception needs to be looked at. Things need to be looked at differently. We need to start opening ourselves up to seeing things from a different way, seeing our world in a different way, of not being so stuck, of not being so fixed, of not being so adamant that things are set in stone is really what's coming through for me here. It's only by kind of like, you know, turning the world upside down that you can see things from a different vantage point, see things in a different way. Understand that there is more than one way to view something. And also to get a higher perspective as well. Because all the blood rushes to the head. And then it helps to kind of feed the brain. And you can understand things differently. So we're going to be asked at this time to take some time out in a way. Take some time out, have a look at things differently, see things. It also feels like giving things time to change, give things time to change, to transform, give things time to Yeah, because he's kind of tied up here. It's like he's kind of like he's hanging, but he's tied up. He can't he can't be involved in anything because he's taken himself out of that involvement. He's taken a backward step in a way. Willingly he's taken that backward step. Willingly he said, okay, I'll take a look, I'll take another look, I'll see how I feel about it, or what's the general sense of something, around something. This idea of success. And we have the Ace of Wands in reverse as well. Which again, I can see this fire energy all down here and this fire here. So our hopes and our fears, with the Ace of Wands in reverse, we are kind of hoping and fearing at the same time that, you know, this creative new energy, whatever this creative new energy is going to work in our favour, that we're going to be able to do something new, that we want to do something new. But the fear is that it could backfire. The fear is that it could get out of control. Because there she is with this kind of pot and this fire and this medicine. You've got these two creatures down here as well. I don't particularly like the look. They've got these horrible kind of malevolent looks in their eyes, on their faces. And this sense of also that they don't particularly like what's coming by the looks of things as well. There's definite kind of idea of this potion being made or something being made, some medicine that's being made here, it feels like. There's actually a skull on that down there as well, if you can see that. There is this skull with a bird sitting on top of it. It's kind of saying to me that this medicine, whatever this medicine is that's being made, is not healthy or in our benefit here. Possibly not to trust everything that you are told or shown, or I'm seeing this as kind of very similar energy of this wand, this fire, this kind of reverse passion. This could also be seen as being power figures here as well. Creating something, again, it just feels like it's not beneficial. It's not something that's going to help to create. It feels more like something that's going to go against. That creation. seeing these hands coming out of the sky here. With this fire wand and this kind of blaze of fire kind of directed at this planet down here. It's all very fiery, it's all very red, it's all very... For me, it's coming through like danger. Like something like there's danger. And this is also coming through as a kind of sense of not trusting. It's in our hopes and our fears. So there is a part of us that wants to trust, and a part of us that's kind of fearful that if we do trust, it's just going to lead to more problems. We have the High Priestess and the Queen of Pentacles over the top of the universe here. And very similar kind of shapes here as well. This figure here in the center and this High Priestess energy here. The High Priestess is about our inner intuition, about our deeper subconscious realm. There's something about this snake here as well. Something about loop, looping, like it kind of, everything loops back round. But at the same time it shifts and it changes and it moves and transforms into something new and something different. So it's never the same twice, even though it may feel very similar. And we may experience very similar energies, but it's never the same thing twice, even though it loops around. It comes back. Oh, it's like it spirals. It's like something... At the same time, yeah, it's like it loops, but it spirals at the same time, so it comes back round in a way, like with the universe, with all the planets and the astrology. But at the same time, it changes. It takes on different forms and different energies. So it's constantly seen it as this kind of very see-through type, like very like it's very fluid motion, it's very fluid energy, this very, but it's kind of very fine, very kind of see-through. With the Queen of Pentacles as well. It feels like shifting reality. It's kind of how it's coming through for me, is the shifting reality, with the Queen of Pentacles representing that physical earth domain, the planet Earth. These are the earth signs: Capricorn, Taurus and Virgo. But it kind of feels like it's this shifting energy, this kind of swirling, misty kind of, that you can never kind of grasp, or because it's constantly changing, it's constantly moving, it's constantly turning into something else. Even though it may feel as though it doesn't, even though, because it takes a long, long time to see the change in the physical realm. It's like almost like before, when we actually see it, it's already changed. So by the time we get to live it, something else has already happened, but we don't experience it immediately because it's constantly shifting and changing. And once again, this kind of, how can I explain it? It's like time shifting. Of like how a second or even less than that can be like a millennia moment in time, and yet for us it's only a very short space of time, and vice versa. It's like a long, long time can be like a split second elsewhere. Okay, so it feels like opening up to other dimensions, like time shifts. Maybe that's also what this energy is here as well, these kind of time shifting dimensions is how it's coming through now. Changing a course, changing path, choosing paths. I also have this up here as well, decision making, path changing. Time shifting is what I'm being told. Time shifting. Like it no longer making sense. Okay. Interesting reading. It's been quite a deep reading actually. It's been quite difficult to actually get to the kind of energetic level of this, because it has been quite, it feels as though it's quite it's quite deep, the message, and I still don't think that I've done the message justice at all today of how big this energy is. This has also got something to do with it as well, this shifting of energy and shifting of out of this physical into more of a, I don't want to say translucent, it's not how I'm feeling, but it just feels much more of a kind of like shifting. Less fixed. Yeah, less fixed energy that we're moving into. It's like some, interesting because all these are fixed signs here as well around this world. They're all fixed signs. It's Taurus, Leo, and it must be Scorpio, there must be Aquarius. But that's all the fixed signs, and it kind of feels as though it's shifting out of that energy into this much more fluid. I think that's the word, fluid. Fluid, deeper understanding, connecting energy source. So I'm going to read it, I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to pull an angel card and see from the light, keepers of the lights. That's what I'd like to say. That's good because they weren't all out. A couple of them were still inside the box, so that's interesting. A bit of a weird headspace today, I think. Solar eclipse is having an effect. It is on top of my, or conjunct, should I say, my ascendant in Sagittarius, which also happens to be on top of the galactic centre. So if you don't know what the galactic centre is, I do talk about it in my astrology read, which will be put up as well. Also, I will attach my blog to this reading as well once I finish doing all the stuff that I need to do to it. So it won't be up immediately, but I will get it up there within the next day or so. I also like to attach this actual reading to the blog as well, which is why it's always late going up. So, keepers of the light, what would you like us to know at this time? What is it you would like us to know, keepers of the light? Right. Yes, no. Maybe not. Maybe I should just move straight onto the cards I was going to use. Okay. We have Lord Shiva, Transcendence. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. Transcendence. That's kind of what I was feeling with this energy here. Transcendence, fluid energy, something shifting beyond the physical. Lord Shiva. Okay, so Shiva is one of India's trinity of male god figures. He's depicted wearing a cobra around his neck. I was saying there was something about snake. That snake here as well. Cobra around his neck. Representing the capacity to tame fear or the ego, surrounded by stars, showing his connection to the cosmos, and holding a trident, acknowledging the three aspects of divine masculine power in India: creator, preserver, and destroyer. That's very Plutonian energy. But I feel that they're quite strongly linked, because if you look here, this is what I was talking about with this kind of circle of stars, of everything looping around and things kind of coming back to the same point. Okay. Right. He is known as the Destroyer because of his warrior-like energy and ability to destroy fear. He is a facet of the Divine Father energy, and offers paternal protection, support, and guidance. He is also acknowledged as the cosmic dancer because he helps coordinate the interaction between Earth and the cosmos. He has the capacity to help us move beyond the fear of failure and into clarity and connection. That's what I'm feeling with this card here as well, this failure. Sorry, I'm going back to something from earlier. This failure is what's coming through here as well, this despondency. That's the word I was trying to find, despondency. She just looks and feels to me despondent, as though she's just kind of given up. There's this despondent energy of what's the point. Anyway, so he has the capacity to move us beyond the fear of failure and into clarity and connection. Lord Shiva is with you right now to awaken your sense of connection to life itself. You are moving through a deep transition, and things will be clearer from this point. You will know exactly what you need to do and where you need to be. This is a powerful time as you will transcend the limitations that others have set for you. It is a time of innovation, ideas, stargazing, soul travelling, and soul revealing. Shiva, the Lord of Dance, is here with his sacred sound of Om to lead the way. And I just want to quickly read this card here, because when I was shuffling them earlier and cut them, this is what it cut to. And it says, man has his destiny in his hands, and never more so than now, as he enters his sovereign state of beingness and oneness. And I just thought that was very appropriate for what is taking place at this time. I also think that that Shiva card has really kind of helped to clear things up, especially for me. I don't know about for any of you, but particularly for me, it's kind of made my head understand what I was trying to be told here a lot clearer. So you can be aware of the gentle touch of a daisy in your hand, and you can be aware of the mind of God, source, creative energy. In that there is no end and there is no beginning. Same energy. No end, no beginning. I do like it when things get cleared up for me. Otherwise I'm just like, oh, what was all that about? So from the source you come, from the source you came, and to the source you will one day return. And that also is very true. Oh, my words are all over the place now. Again, same energy. Same energy. Same energy. So I'm going to leave it there before I kind of get myself even more confused. And say thank you very much for watching. I hope that it has been of some help to you, that you have managed to get something from this reading, even though it was very disjointed, I know. Hopefully it has made some sense to you. Please, if you have enjoyed my reading, could you thumbs it up for me? Please like it. It really helps to get the message out there, really helps to get the algorithms to pick it up, which is why YouTubers, creators are always saying, please thumbs up our videos, because it seems really insignificant, but it really does make a difference. Also, thank you very much to those of you who have liked up my video. I do really appreciate all the videos that you have liked up. It has been a huge help for me. And also for those of you who have subscribed to me lately as well, thank you very much. I also appreciate that very much too. Like I said, I can't speak properly anymore. So if you haven't subscribed, please could you do so? It does help me to build my channel, get the messages out there. Also, if you haven't liked my videos, please could you also do that. And also there's a little bell that you can tap. There is a subscribe button on my videos for you to do that as well. All full moon videos, all new moon videos, everything is on playlists. I do all of the zodiac signs as well. I can't think of anything else that I need to say. Possibly share my videos as well if you feel that you resonate with them, that they're making any sense to you, or they're kind of resonating on a level that feels good to you, then please subscribe or like my videos and share them. In the meantime, please take really good care of yourselves and take care of anybody else that you can around you. And hopefully I will see you again soon.